I left my husband 3 weeks ago and moved back to my birth country with our children. My family was shocked when they found out because everyone thought we had the perfect relationship and my move was abrupt. I didn't give them any details about what happened, but I was clearly devastated and angry. To my face, it felt like my entire family was rallying around me to give me the support I needed. However, I recently learned from my sister that some of my siblings, their partners, and even my dad have been making bets on how long it would take me to return to my husband. They also have a group chat with my husband giving him updates on me, suggestions on how to fix things, and discussing his trip here in a week. Sister said she was scared for me, so she decided to show me the group chat. I was angry at everybody, mostly my dad, since I didn't expect it from him. I found it out during a party with my extended family, and I was so angry that I couldn't hold it in and ended up confronting my dad and yelling at him in front of everybody. I've never yelled at my dad before, and I think everybody was shocked, including him. He told me he was my father and I shouldn't speak to him like that. I kept yelling until my mum and aunts took me into the other room to calm me down. I've since refused to apologize to my dad and told my older brother to screw off over this. Am I the idiot? They had a group chat where they reported your details to the man you just left. Oh honey, bring the fire and brimstone down on these unempathetic sucks. He does not get to play the father card when they've done that. What a massive violation of your trust. Tell every one of them where they can shove it and find new housing ASAP. What your family is doing could be dangerous to you and your kids. When my ex and I split up, my mom kept in contact with him, even if I asked her not to disclose any information about me. He used it to gather information about me and started a nasty court case where he tried to take away the kid. One of his arguments was that he was obviously the better parent because why would my own mother betray me otherwise? It gave him loads of ammunition, boosted his confidence, and led to years of fighting. Yeah, this is a huge betrayal. The bet is petty and bad enough, but having a private chat where people are including the ex and talking about the OP and passing info on to the ex, very, very bad. Probably yelling at him isn't enough. Go complete no contact until he gets his priorities right. Your whole family, except your sister, is awful. So they're turning your marital problems into a betting pool for their amusement and spying on you on behalf of your ex? These people are heartless and way out of line, and their actions are inexcusable. Do they pull wings off live butterflies for a hobby? OP, you have my sympathy. I'm sure you're going through enough right now without being surrounded by cruelty and traitors. He ended up telling me he was my father. He told you he's a worthless idiot. Fix that for you. So it's probably best to step back from your family if you can afford to because, as you can see, most of them act like idiots, and the rest also don't make any efforts to stop that kind of behavior. Did I read right that they also plan to ambush you with a visit from your husband in about a week? That's so messed up in my opinion. Yes, sis is right. It's downright dangerous, and the husband planning a trip to see OP, trying to figure out tactics to manipulate OP to go back to him, and not letting OP live their own life, is obsessive behavior. If OP can, I recommend finding out the duration of the trip and taking the kids somewhere else until he leaves for their safety. Life is not a romance movie where showing up at your ex's place will win them back. It's more likely to win a restraining order than an ex. I, 19 female, just went on vacation with my family. My sister, 23, is in a wheelchair, which can make vacations a little tricky sometimes when it comes to accessibility for her wheelchair. I'm not going to name specific locations for privacy reasons, but there was an old manor with beautiful gardens in the area we were visiting. After seeing pictures online, it was something I wanted to see while we were there. I'd been talking about it for a while, so when we got there, my mom went on the website to buy tickets for a tour, and there was a section on the website that mentioned that many areas of the house and grounds were not wheelchair accessible and couldn't be changed because it was historical. I said I would find time to go on my own because I was the only one who really wanted to see it, and my sister got mad at me. She said that I shouldn't go when I know she'll be left out, and I also shouldn't support places that aren't willing to make changes to be more accessible. I told her that it's not unreasonable that they can't change the building because it's historically significant. My parents told me I couldn't go if my sister couldn't go, and I flipped out and said that the world doesn't revolve around her and she's being sensitive. She didn't even want to go that badly, but now that it's not an option for her, she doesn't want it to be an option for me. My sister got upset and started crying. I ended up going by myself anyway, but my sister and mom didn't talk to me for the rest of the trip. Part of the reason I was so upset was that this had happened many times before, and especially on vacation. If there's a hike I want to go on or anything that she can't participate in, no one in the family gets to do it. It's really annoying to me, and while I do feel for her that she can't do everything, this bugged me way more because she didn't even want to go that bad in the first place. I thought it would end up blowing over, but she still hasn't talked to me, and we've been home for a week now, so I'm second guessing whether I should have gone. Not the idiot. Wheelchair user here, and I'm also mostly housebound. I would never and have never stopped anyone from going somewhere or doing something I'm not able to go to or do. Yes, it can suck that you miss out on stuff sometimes, but that doesn't give you the right to stop someone else from enjoying something without you. If I applied the same rules as your sister, my whole family would only leave the house for medical appointments that can't be done at home. My biological mother was wheelchair-bound, and she understood that there were limitations as to where she could go and what she could do. She never once stopped anyone from going out and doing things they wanted to do, but she couldn't. Sorry to say this, but your sister sounds entitled and jealous. And while I can understand her being upset that there are certain things she'll be unable to do in life, that shouldn't mean that you have to put your life on hold because of it. Are you not going to be allowed to get married just because she can't physically walk down an aisle? What about having children? Are you not allowed to have children just because it may be easier for you to have them than it would be for her? Your mother and sister are living in a reality of their own making. My 27 male wife, 24, and I live in a small town, and recently my close friend from childhood, 27 female, moved here as well. A few days ago, my friend messaged me at 8 p.m. asking if any stores were open. She was looking for a drugstore specifically, but as I said, it's a small town and everything closes at 6, and the city is an hour away and everything would also probably be closed by the time she drove there. After some more prodding, she tells me she's out of period products. So I looked under the sink and saw an unopened box of pads, and I told my friend that she could have it. So I gave her the box of pads, then texted my wife, who's staying with her parents for the week, what happened and told her that I'll replace it the next day. The next thing I know, I get a bunch of texts from my wife calling me an idiot, saying that I should have asked her first, and she would have told me no. I also got texts from her sister telling me how weird this situation was. But I grew up in a household where my mom kept the downstairs bathroom stocked with pads for guests to use, so to me, they feel more like household items. I'd be fine if she gave away my shampoo, for instance, since we use different shampoos. Also, I didn't text my wife immediately because it takes hours to respond, and usually longer when she's at her parents'. Also, I'm the one that makes sure our toiletries, including her pads, are stocked. I guess she had a more conservative upbringing, whereas I feel this isn't any different from my friend running out of toilet paper or toothpaste and didn't see the need to run it by my wife first. But I'm feeling like an idiot here for not considering that. I guess I wasn't thinking about how my wife would have felt. I just thought, well, my friend needs pads and I have a box. So, am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Everyone who said that it's weird she felt comfortable enough to ask for period products. Why? Periods aren't something to feel ashamed of. If this were me, I'd be glad my husband doesn't have some weird hang-ups on periods. Why is no one asking that her sister texted him? Isn't that weird? Okay, maybe her sister was there, and she was upset, so she told him. That makes sense. But for her sister to text him and tell him that what he did is wrong, that's absolutely stupid, and she has no business telling him that. My sisters often rant about their SO when they're upset and I'm around, but then they figure it out and work on it together. I don't go and text their husbands about every little thing. She doesn't get to talk about boundaries if she acts like this. Everyone's the idiot here. Maybe your wife feels weird about a woman feeling so close to her husband that she can ask for help with period products. This 27-year-old woman knows no other woman in town and has planned so poorly to call a married friend to ask for help. Your wife blew it out of proportion though, and that's the only reason I can think of why. Yeah, I'm guessing this is more the wife is weirded out that this close female friend asked her husband for pads, and her husband delivered them to said friend at night while she was gone. Don't know if there's anything in the relationship to warrant this kind of reaction though. I agree, I don't think it's about the pads. His wife is out of town. His female childhood friend recently moved back. I'm guessing that the wife isn't used to this dynamic, especially from a conservative family. It probably has more to do with them being together while she's out of town. The pads are probably more about the comfortability in her private space. This isn't her sister or her friend, it's his childhood friend that recently returned. There may be something else going on here. We had a family get-together. My older brother, Adam, 45, came over also. We all got pizzas. My son Drew, a young teen, is autistic and vegetarian. He also has food texture issues, so the only pizza he likes is cheese. Drew was waiting until everyone settled down to get his pizza to avoid him being overwhelmed. Adam, who normally eats meat lovers pizza, went second to last and grabbed the last 6 pieces of cheese and licked them in front of my son. So now he didn't have any pizza to eat. I called Adam out and he laughed, saying, "Early birds." I got angry and kicked Adam out of my home. My parents got mad, saying it was Father's Day and I was ruining it for my dad. I told my mom this was the last family event I would ever host at home. We hosted everything since I got married almost 20 years ago. My parents said I overreacted, thus ruining my dad's Father's Day. I said Adam ruined it by going after a kid with autism for no reason. My mom left crying, but I'm not backing down and hosting any more events. My house is the only one big enough to host everyone for holidays and birthdays, so that's why I could be the idiot on this. Edit. Part of it is Adam thinks vegetarians are stupid or something. I don't know how to reason with his logic. He pulled this at every get-together since my son decided to stop eating meat and tried to tease him with ham, turkey or burgers. Normally I just tell my son that his uncle is small-minded or straight up stupid. This was the first time he pulled this, leaving nothing for my son to eat. It's like he planned it. Not the idiot, but a 45-year-old man licked 6 slices of pizza on purpose so his nephew wouldn't eat. What is wrong with him? Who does that? The fact that the kid has autism makes it worse, but that's totally gross behavior. Who licks food so other people can't have any? Who wants to make it so that someone else can't eat too? And who allows that and turns on the person calling out the messed up behavior? Apparently, according to OP, he's just a baby over nephew going vegetarian. The grandparents saw nothing wrong with that and defended their disgusting son. Yikes, something is seriously wrong with these people. You are not the idiot, OP. I wouldn't host these people ever again either. He took 6 pieces? What? Not only is that an abnormal portion of pizza for one sitting, but he was at someone else's house, and it's common etiquette not to take lots of food for yourself at the guest house. The fact he didn't apologize is just a nail in the coffin. Sorry your family didn't back you up. You're in the right here. Your most important job is to parent, protect, and support your son. What your brother did is cruel and disgusting. It would be whether or not your son is on the spectrum. It's all the worse because he is. That your own parents can't understand that on Father's Day of all days, a day dedicated to the importance of parenting, is their failure, they're being selfish and failing to understand the cruelty of your brother's action, failing to support their grandchild, and failing to support you in being a good parent. They're lucky that all you said was you'd refuse to host. Many would refuse to talk to them. I, 29 female, have been together with my boyfriend, 31, for 4 years, and he's recently proposed. I'm not a native English speaker, so apologies for any mistakes. When my now fiancé and I started dating, his mother, Emma, was thrilled. She asked me for a few recipes for national dishes, and I reluctantly gave her one of my family recipes. She's made it before and it wasn't bad. Possibly she could have used a bit more seasoning, but I totally understand her being on the safe side here. This past weekend, Emma invited my fiancé and me for a family dinner so I could meet the rest of my fiancé's family. She said she would cook the traditional national dish based on my family recipe again. As she had cooked it before and it tasted good, I was happy that the rest of his family would try it. I asked Emma if she would like any help in the kitchen, but she declined. Dinner was on Saturday. Emma made the dish and introduced it as the national dish of my country and made it using the family recipe I gave her, but it was nowhere close to the recipe I'd given her. She'd replaced a lot of ingredients, so it was a completely different dish and was inedible. All the ingredients the dish contains can be easily acquired through a normal shop, and there's nothing fancy that might be required. To put it in perspective, it would be the same if someone put super noodles and fried fish in a pita and called it a taco. As the dish wasn't edible, many guests tried maybe a spoon and haven't touched it. I got a little bit upset and went to the bathroom to fix my makeup. When I went downstairs, I heard people discussing the dish and saying how unwilling they were to try any more food from my country due to how disgusting the dish was served at dinner. I got even more upset and after dinner ended, asked Emma why she'd done that to me. Emma was confused and said she tried to change it up a bit, and the recipe isn't good if it can't be edited. I've told her what she did wasn't fair as my family has been preparing the dish following the recipe for generations and it always turned out delicious. She should have picked a different time to do her edits, to which Emma called me ungrateful. My fiancé is on my side and told Emma that he couldn't forgive her for disrespecting me like this, and then we left. My future father-in-law told me I was an idiot for causing all this fuss and dividing the family apart over food. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. What was the relationship between you and mother-in-law like before? Yeah, this sounds horrible, but the benefit of the doubt is she's just a bad cook and also didn't know better. I agree. She not only misrepresented it to others as a cultural dish, but also as a family dish. So she not only disrespected the culture, but she also disrespected OP's family and family history. I was cooking rice the Asian way as I grew up in Asia. Mother-in-law decided it couldn't possibly be right and added a load of extra water, so we ended up with rice porridge. It was awful. She then told everyone I'd cooked the rice. I pulled her on it and said, no, I may have started cooking the rice, but this effort was hers. After all, she decided to take over halfway through because she didn't trust me and added more water. What you could have said was, thank you so much, Emma, for your take on my national dish. Bit different from the way we do it. Never seen X in it before, but the effort was appreciated. Oh, I would be so offended if someone cooked a bad batch of rice and then accused me of it. What's with mother-in-laws and messing up their kids' spouses' cooking? What kind of stupid power play is that? I'm glad you only gave her that one recipe and that your fiancé is on your side.